Good morning. This is just open play, but if I'm honest, I'm very nervous because I actually felt a tiny little bit sore just from the jumping drills 2 days ago, and this is going to be hardcore today. Hey, good morning. Hand pink waving. I love it. I love it. Happy Sunday, everybody. Can you guys believe it is Sunday already? Where is the time going? You guys got any fun plans today? What you got going on? Let's see. Today, what am I doing today? Today, I'm going to go play some volleyball, actually. I'm kind of pumped about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. We're going to talk today about probably different peptide protocols and different strategies for. I was getting a lot of questions on our live yesterday about how cortisol and inflammation actually impact insulin resistance. And so I wanted to talk about that and give you guys a bit of a framework of understanding that, the whole cortisol, insulin, and weight loss stall connection. You know, of course, we'll talk about slow results, no results. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff. Make sure that you guys have a good framework of that. Let's see. GLP-1 coaching, Dr. Jones. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. We are rocking and rolling. Woo! Well, that sucks. Let's get that fixed. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Good morning, Susan. So yes, first time here, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. So it's a pretty cool thing where my clinicians, my doctors, they prescribe the GLP-1s, the powerful peptides, the different lifestyle strategies. Welcome, Trixie. Welcome, Susan. This includes the hormone therapies, the peptide therapies, the GLP-1 protocols, and then we do microdosing strategies to fix autoimmune struggles. And we help all sorts of patients with diabetes, inflammatory conditions, obesity. And then me and my coaches, we actually coach lifestyle interventions to help get to the root cause of obesity, to help get to the root cause of diabetes. If you guys are watching me on TikTok, I'm gonna exit my TikTok here and then I'm gonna restart the live. Let's see. I'm gonna restart the TikTok live. We're doing good on Facebook. There seems to be no issue there. Figure Out says, I don't know, bro. You can just control your eating instead of using a GLP-1. Yeah, let's talk about that, since that's the question, Just control your eating. You don't need a medication. And I'm gonna assume that Figure It Out is an individual who is able to control his or her own eating. I'm guessing you're a dude. Just an opinion I have. You had an experience where you were able to lose weight just controlling your appetite, not using the medication. So you're thinking, well, if I didn't need the medication, nobody else in the world needs the medication, I think it's this is one of those things where we try to teach our kids this lesson, right? As you grow up, kids tend to have this like, well, the only world that exists is the world that I see, right? And then usually most kids, when they grow up, they realize, oh shit, there's a world outside of my world. Oh shit, everybody else has a world. And they have their realities, and what's true to them is not always true to me. And then, unfortunately, some people seem to never develop that actual realization. And so I challenge you, my friend, when you make that statement, just control your eating. You don't need GLP-1s. I challenge your thinking because a lot of people do. Being a clinician that coaches and we treat thousands of patients on GLP-1 medications, I can tell you without a doubt, GLP-1s are transformative. GLP-1 medications are necessary for people who struggle with a disease called obesity. I don't think you struggle with obesity, so I don't think you have any reality on what it is and the nature of it and how it impacts you. Pacific, I tapered down to 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide, sustaining weight, but inflammation has come back. Any advice? Yeah, so when it comes to controlling inflammation, the carnivore diet, in my opinion, is the most powerful nutritional strategy for reducing inflammation. You go carnivore, you go flexible carnivore, and then you can add peptides to really speed up the process and to enhance the anti-inflammatory effect. So we're talking GLP-1 medications or anti-inflammatory low-dose naltrexone. We're talking BPC 157. We're talking TB 500. Yes. Pep Girl, are you thinking about starting GLP-1s? If you guys are looking to get any of the peptides, any of the GLP-1 protocols, peptides, if you're looking for my help, if you want to work with me, let me give you guys the best way to reach out to us. All you got to do is shoot us a text message, the 229-441-3562. That number again is 229-441-3562. Just shoot us that message. Let them know that you want to get set up for a free consultation. And they're going to help you rock and roll. They're going to help you figure out and establish a plan. They're going to let you know the cost. They're going to let you know everything that's involved with the process. And then, then you decide how you want to do it. Tony, you just finished your first 48-hour fast. What does that feel like, my friend? What did that feel like? How empowering did it feel to realize that you can go through such a long period of time without eating food? Like, I bet that was transformative. I bet that was empowering. I bet you had no idea that you would be able to do it. And here you are. You did it. You survived. So congratulations. How do I feel about teenagers on D-ball? I think that's stupid. I think that's a stupid idea, and I think that's a stupid question. I would gather you're being silly and facetious, so I'm being silly and facetious when I say that's stupid. How do you lose weight if you have hyperthyroid? If you mean hypothyroid. Yes, if you have hypothyroid, then likely you need to get your thyroid managed. So we start with comprehensive blood work where we look at TSH, free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. So we do a comprehensive thyroid panel, and that's the starting base, because we got to learn, like, we got to establish what's wrong with your thyroid. Hey, Stacy on Facebook, welcome. How do I feel about Lipo-C? How do I feel about lipotropic shots in general? I think they're cool. I think if you feel better, if you feel like they're helping you, go for it. I don't have any problem with lipotropic shots. Do we recommend them? No. Why do we not recommend them? Because they tend to not be that effective. In my experience, it's like a lot of people, we used to require them. We used to put everybody on them, and I just didn't notice much. We don't use them at all right now, and we get phenomenal results. So B12, if you need B12, yeah, take a B12 shot. There's no harm with taking B12. Any extra B12, your body will just get rid of. Obviously, you don't want to overdose. You can get toxicity on anything. So hopefully a doctor is prescribing the right amount for you. Where do you inject your GLP-1s? You can inject your peptides into any fat tissue. You can inject your GLP-1 peptides and your regular peptides into any fat tissue. Let me guess your age. That's an interesting guess on my age. Not accurate, but close. I feel no need to eat, and it allows me to slow down and make healthier choices. Big boy, big dog. That's the thing. That's the thing that I noticed myself, and with thousands of patients. The GLP-1 clears the fog. The GLP-1 medication lifts the fog, clears the fog, and it allows an individual to make better lifestyle choices. So I'm with you on that. I agree 100%. It's hard to lose weight with hypothyroidism. Yes, well, we just talked about that. Get your labs checked, and then have our doctor review, and we might need to prescribe a medication. We might need to prescribe a medication, and we might need to, you might need a reverse diet though. Sometimes you don't need a medication. Sometimes you need a reverse diet. The reverse diet can make a massive difference. Tony, I did right after I took the Mounjaro, where the hunger was suppressed the most, and I didn't crave food. That's fantastic, Tony. And that's smart. Tony, I think that was really smart. Now make sure after the 48-hour fast that you eat a lot of food. You need to cycle the fasting. You have to surround the fasting periods with feasting periods. Okay? You have to surround the fasting periods with feasting periods. That's the only way this is going to work. Cheryl, good morning. I do B12 shots. My doctor gives me the prescription. That's fantastic. If you feel better with B12, it's a good thing. What do I think about retatrutide? I think retatrutide is very powerful. And if you're taking it and it's working for you, fantastic. Keep using it. That's great. But if you're on tirzepatide, or if you're thinking about starting, there's no point of switching to retatrutide. The upside is minimal and the downside is massive. The downside being it might not work. I've seen so many patients so excited to start retatrutide, and then they spend the money and they don't get the appetite suppression that they need. Have I ever been on a GLP-1? Yes, Nix, I have. I currently am on a microdose. I lost over 100 pounds myself, and I struggled with stability. I kept losing and gaining the same 50 pounds for over a decade. My story is one that is very parallel to many of you. Many of you watching this right now have struggled to gain and lose for probably more times than you can count. Hey, UDHE, I got a couple different screens right now, so bear with me. I will definitely get to your questions, I promise. We got plenty of time this morning. I'm live on TikTok, I'm live on Facebook, I'm live on YouTube. So I will get to all of your questions, don't worry. So yeah, that's a little bit about my backstory. And I know a lot of people just joined us here this morning. Good morning, Perry. Welcome everybody. If this is your first time here in the live, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. My medical practitioners prescribe the GLP-1s, the peptides. We have the healing peptides. By the way, we have a promotion that we're doing for Black Friday. This will be the steepest discounts that we've done all year around for Black Friday, specifically on the Wolverine healing peptides and on the Glow anti-aging peptides. The Glow and the Wolverine are amazing if you're dealing with injuries, if you're dealing with anything like that, and you guys want to take advantage of that. You've been thinking about that. These are the steepest discounts we've done all year. So definitely shoot us a message. But in general, what me and my coaches do is we coach lifestyle interventions so that we can get to the root cause of your health issues. That's what we do all day. So if you guys are struggling, if you need, what's my dose for maintaining Jazzy? I personally do I'm experimenting with a new protocol. I do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I'm doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, where I'm doing like 2 injections and then 2 off, and then 2 on and 2 off. And I'm still playing around with the dose, 2.5, and then maybe 5, or maybe 5 and then 2.5. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out because every month I have to try a new cycle. And see what I like. But then what I'm doing on that monthly basis is I do a long fast. On a monthly basis, I take advantage of the appetite suppression and I do a really long therapeutic fast. So this phone number, guys, is actually the best way to reach out to my team, 229-441-3562. If you want to take advantage of the Black Friday specials that we have coming up, if you guys want coaching, guidance, support, we got you covered. All right, let me get back to the YouTube questions now. Figure It Out says, we all live in the same world. We all live in the same world. So you didn't understand when I said you have your own world and people have their own world. That didn't make sense to you. That went over your head because you think we all live in the same world. We all have the same reality. Yeah, I would challenge you to question that opinion of yours. Hey, Sadie, good morning. Essential soap. I see people talking about using chemicals to reconstitute like a vial of sloop. Yeah. So we prescribe, first of all the peptides that we ship to your doorstep come from a high quality 503A pharmacy. They're shipped directly to your doorstep and they come ready to go with all the instructions on exactly what to do. Everything's laid out for you. Our sloop, by the way, is pill form because we have stable pill form of sloop. So you don't have to worry about injectables. I know you advocate for low dose. Do you have any clients who only have success at higher doses? Yes, we do. I mean, look, not everybody is going to stay on a low dose. I'm not going to make a crazy claim like that. You can tell when somebody's full of you know what. We have very standardly, most people 5 to 7.5 milligrams is all they need in my program. A lot of people 2.5. Some people go higher. Like really, really, really dysfunctional, like really, really inflamed insulin resistant patients. But I can tell you the majority is around 5 milligrams of tirzepatide because we're implementing strategic lifestyle changes. Justin on TikTok, welcome. Bouncing back between 5 and 10 pounds. So yeah, so you're in a plateau and we can talk about busting through weight loss plateaus. So stay tuned, Justin. Cheryl, since you said intermittent fasting, I'm losing weight again and it's a blessing. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm glad that you're following my advice and I'm glad that it's working. Good morning, DEA. How are ya? Fantastic. It looks like we got everybody caught up. By the way, guys, if you're watching me on TikTok, if you guys haven't seen my TikTok videos, we have about 3 TikTok accounts and we post 3 videos every single day on TikTok. TikTok likes to play this game with me where they delete my accounts and then I create a new one and then they, sometimes delete it, sometimes they don't. It's just really, I don't like the game. It's annoying. So you guys have to get updated on my new account. So if you're watching me on TikTok, these are 2 new accounts that we created. Go to those accounts, search them right now, find them, follow them. If you guys like my 60-second, 90-second videos on TikTok, I try to put as much free educational content on my platforms as possible. Now, if you like to learn, if you like deep dives, yes, Regina, we have worked with several teenagers before. We actually have a YouTube video specifically with a 16-year-old female that we helped. If you guys are have a YouTube account, go to YouTube right now, type in Dr. Jones DC, and you'll find my page. Make sure you follow the page. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that you get notified every single time I go live. Definitely check it out. There's a lot of great information there. We put out 4 videos every single week discussing GLP-1 strategies that are much needed in the community. Thank you, Karen. I'm glad the videos have helped you. Yeah, Regina, shoot us a text message because we can absolutely help you. As long as the pediatrician is aware, as long as the pediatrician's on board. What test do you take to know that you are insulin resistant or no longer insulin resistant? That test is called fasting insulin and C-peptide. So that test is called fasting insulin and C-peptide test. That is a really powerful test. And it gives us, and I would also check inflammation at the same time. CRP and ESR. Good morning, Perry. The real deal. I know you advocate for low dose, but do you have client? Oh yeah, we talked about that. I answered that question. So it looks like I caught up. Is there any questions on YouTube that I missed? What is your recommended starting dose for oral sloop? About 200 micrograms. 200 micrograms per day. And then you work up your dose from there after a couple of weeks. Hey, Nix, what is a reverse diet? So a reverse diet or a metabolic reset is a powerful strategy for fixing starvation mode, for fixing when you're in a weight loss plateau. How many of you guys are currently stalled right now? How many of you guys are no longer losing weight? Drop it in the comments right now. How long have you been stalled for? How much weight have you lost and how much more weight do you need to lose? Drop it in the comments. If you guys want me to get into my weight loss stall solution, or do you want me to talk about slow results, or do you want me to talk about peptides? Let me know in the comments what would be more helpful to you right now. Hey, Jade, I booked a consultation. I text the number multiple times, but no reply. Where can I reach you? Jade, so when you say you text the number, you're saying this one right here, 229-441. I can actually look right now and see, if you shoot me a text right now, I can see your message if it comes in. Let's see. Yeah, I should be able to see your message if you want to shoot us a message in right now. Nix wants me to talk about stalls and slow results. What would you guys like me to talk about? Drop it in the comments. Are you stalled right now? Let me know. Yes, Yude. I've been going live every day around 8 a.m. Eastern. I've been usually going live around 8 a.m. Eastern, so you guys can catch me on TikTok and YouTube. But make sure you follow my YouTube channels and make sure you're following my TikTok channels. Kathy, you've been stalled for weeks. Kimacher's been stalled. Anthony's been stalled for 6 weeks. Mastern's in a 2-week stall, 100 pounds down, 42 to go. Well, congratulations on losing that many. You lost 100 pounds, my friend. That's fantastic. Nancy on Facebook has been stalled for months. So I'm curious, what do you guys think the best solution is? I'm curious what you think the best solution is. By the way, I do see your message, Jade, but for some reason, I'm curious why you're not seeing our response. Oh, that's why. It's an international number. I see. It's a WhatsApp number. Jade, I just switched it over to WhatsApp. Let's see. Let us know if you got it. It looks like it's a WhatsApp number. Gotcha. Okay. So moderators, if you guys can respond to Jade, you have to have your WhatsApp turned on to respond to her. Here, let me put this in here. Fantastic. Jade, I would make sure, give us till tomorrow because my team might not understand how to reply to you. I need to make sure that they know how to know how to message WhatsApp. Let's see. Anthony, I've increased my protein intake to 100 grams and intermittent fasting since scale's not moving. I guess since I'm not gaining, the tirzepatide is still working. The tirzepatide is always doing what it does. The tirzepatide is reducing inflammation. The tirzepatide is improving metabolic health in the background. This is where if you're training, if you're doing your weekly fasting, you're doing everything right, you might be losing fat and building muscle. Are you resistance training 3 times a week? Are you lifting weights with the intent of building muscle mass? That's my next question. You might be losing inches. So this is where you might want to start measuring your waist to see if you're losing size. Jocelyn, yes, you can still get compounded GLP-1 meds. Guys, we do service all 50 states, just so you know. If you need any of the GLP-1 medications, if you need peptides, we do have some pretty cool promotions that we're starting here for Black Friday. So I would definitely reach out to us by shooting the text message to this phone number right here, 229-441-3562. Nix, maybe recalculating your calorie deficit to get out of a goal. So let's go ahead and do that because I know a lot of you guys were asking for help. How do we fix the weight loss stall? So let me get into this one because I know this is an extremely important conversation. And by the way, tomorrow we're posting a YouTube video all about the weight loss stall. Tomorrow, we're posting a video on YouTube called the 10-minute solution to your weight loss stall. So I'm going to give you the solution now, but if you guys want to follow up, there's going to be a free video on YouTube available as well. Okay, so yes, the peptides are amazing add-ons to supercharge your weight loss. You help lose more fat, you build more muscle mass. Yeah, the peptides are amazing. Okay, Nix, my YouTube channel, if just type in Dr. Jones DC and you will find my YouTube channel. So let's talk about, I want to talk about the stall, the solution to your weight loss stall. I want to break this up into 3 parts so that you guys can understand the framework of what's happening, okay? So pay attention to this because this is super important because I know you guys are stalled out right now and nobody's giving you a solution. Until now, I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to understand on how to fix it. So we're going to talk about number 1, what's happening in the background. Why did your weight loss slow down? We're going to talk about how to fix it. And then we're going to talk about how to prevent it. Would that be interesting to you guys? Would you want to learn about why your weight loss stalled, how to reverse it, how to fix it, right? And then how to prevent it from happening again. Nancy, hormone replacement therapy is amazing for so many things. It could slow down the weight loss on the scale, yes, but that could be water weight and that can be muscle mass. So you have to have a way to be able to tell the difference. But yes, when you first start hormone therapy, as they're getting to know your body and they're balancing things out, you might put on some water weight. Yes, we do offer treatment for type 2 diabetes as well. We help diabetics reverse their diabetes. That is one thing that we do, because the root cause of your diabetes is the same root cause of your obesity. So yes, we are prepared to help you with that. Peptides for muscle building: CJC, ipamorelin, samorelin, tesamorelin, and then testosterone therapy. So testosterone therapy and then growth hormone peptides. These are the strategic powerhouse peptides and solutions to muscle building. But you can't out peptide, you can't not have the foundation. If you want to build muscle mass, you have to get your ass to the gym. You got to get your ass to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and you got to lift weights about 45 minutes. And you have to lift weights with the intent of building muscle. It's called hypertrophy training. Hypertrophy training is a type of muscle building training. And then, of course, you got to consume enough protein. You have to be getting about 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. Amy, I'm going to be starting peptides, CJC, IPA next week in Bangkok. Okay, you're in Bangkok. Fantastic. I'm just curious, how are you getting peptides down there? What does it look like down there in Bangkok? I'm actually really curious. Tony, what's a good peptide for type 2 diabetes? Probably the AOD. So for our diabetics, we do the GLP-1 like tirzepatide, but then we also add strategic amounts of fat mobilizers. Fat mobilizers are crucial. So like AOD 9604, very, very powerful strategy. Thoughts on testosterone therapy and tesamorelin therapy, working out 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 5 days a week? I mean, that's the most powerful muscle building strategy that I know of. So that's what I just said a couple minutes ago. The most powerful muscle building strategy is testosterone therapy and growth hormone peptides. So it sounds like you understand that, and it sounds like you're already doing that, which is great. Can I use resistance bands to work out? Yeah, you can. You can use resistance bands. Look, I always say the ideal, the optimal is to get to the gym. I always say the ideal and the optimal is to get to the gym and hit those machines, hit those compound machines, the leg press, and then always focus on your legs, guys. Your legs is the most important part of your body to work out. And I know, men, you want big biceps, you want big chest, I get it. Hit those areas too. But your lower body has the most amount of muscle. Your lower body has the biggest muscle groups. Your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings. You want to become healthy? Prioritize your lower body. Because that's the biggest amount of muscle mass. That's the biggest opportunity to improve your blood sugar, is by training the lower body. But hopefully you're training everything. What is my advice for older women going through menopause? So we have probably menopausal women are the largest audience of people that we work with. Ladies, how many ladies watching this are in perimenopause or menopause right now? I didn't see that many people that wanted me to talk about the stall, so maybe I'll talk about perimenopause and menopause and what that means. Let me know right now, are you watching this? Are you in perimenopause, menopause, or post-menopause? Let me know, because I know that is a really huge pain point. There's a lot of you struggling right now. So we got Perry, Christina, Jocelyn, Alejandra, Yolanda. All right. So we have a lot more people here that are struggling with the stall. Seems to be a lot more people that want me to talk about that versus the stall. I'll try to do both. But there definitely seems to be a greater need for me to talk about menopause. Okay. So I know a lot of you have been told that you shouldn't do fasting when you're in perimenopause, that you shouldn't do fasting when you're in menopause. But the sad reality is fasting is the literal solution to fix your insulin resistance. But the problem is so let's do this. When you're in menopause, this is the time in your body where your hormone productions are decreasing, right? It's like no more childbearing years. So your body's production of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone plummet. So guess what happens, ladies? You become more inflamed and you become more insulin resistant. It's like overnight, all of a sudden you lose your ability to control your weight. It's like overnight, all of a sudden you start gaining weight. You don't change your diet, you don't change your exercise, nothing changed, but all of a sudden you either start gaining weight or it just becomes really challenging to control your weight. Yes, the thing that initiated this is menopause, which is decreased hormone production. Thank you, Francisco. But if you and what a lot of women notice is when they start fasting, it can screw you up. It can screw you up and create a lot of stress to the body, and you feel worse. It triggers those menopausal symptoms. So the solution to this are fat mobilizing peptides. So the GLP-1 makes it so that you can fast. But if you're on a GLP-1 and you're still struggling to fast, my menopausal ladies, then you need to pay attention and add this peptide. It's called AOD 9604. AOD 9604 is a powerful fat mobilizing peptide. So when you fast, you're not eating. It creates a stress to the body. The stress to the body is, I got to get into my fat stores and feed you. That's the body talking to you. You're not eating at all. That's 2,000 calories a day. I need to get that energy from your fat stores. But if you're in menopause, your insulin levels are higher. Insulin is blocking the fat cells. So this creates a very stressful environment for the body because you are forcing your body to burn fat, but then it can't burn fat because the insulin is blocking the fat because you're in menopause or because you're insulin resistant. This isn't just menopause. Yes, it's called AOD 9604. So what AOD does is it decreases the stress response of long fasting by mobilizing the fat stores so that when you fast, your body can effectively burn the fat. This is super strategic. Like, I don't know if you guys know Dr. Mindy Pelz. I love all of her work. Fast Like a Girl. A lot of her protocols are part of my protocols, but what she doesn't talk about are peptides. And I can tell you without a doubt, because I coach thousands of women, I coach men too as well. We have a lot of men in our program. But as a woman, you are more sensitive to fasting. Men, if you're not fasting, I don't know what you're doing. Because as a man, fasting is so easy. Your body is primed and ready to go for fasting on your GLP-1. This is easy. But for women, it requires a little bit of nuance. It requires a little bit of strategic approach because the woman's body, because of the hormonal changes of menopause, it becomes more disruptive to them. And sometimes they can throw them off, they can trigger menopausal symptoms, and it can cause a little bit of a bumpy road. But if you're strategic about this and you introduce the right peptides like AOD 9604 or SLOOP 332, then you decrease the stress response, and then you can get into the deep fasting that you need to fix your body. So if you guys want to learn more about AOD, if you want to learn more about these different peptides, make sure you go to just text this number right here, this 229 number, 229-441-3562. This number again is 229-441-3562. This is the direct number to reach out to my team. And they can go over you can schedule a consultation with my advocates. They can talk about the peptides. They can talk about the AOD, the Sloop 332, and they can go over, big picture what that looks like. Taking retatrutide and the food noise is still there. Hey, Moni, I talk about this all the time, but I'm not a fan of retatrutide for that exact reason. I'm not a fan of retatrutide for that exact reason because it doesn't suppress appetite as well. Jade, I just posted a video about fasting on GLP-1 medications. I posted that video 2 days ago. So make sure, guys, if you're not already following me on YouTube, go to YouTube right now and type in Dr. Jones DC. Type in Dr. Jones DC. You will find my page. You will find all the videos that I put out. We put out like a lot of videos discussing these various issues, these various real world scenarios. And we just talked about fasting because a lot of people are so confused about fasting. So Dr. Jones DC on YouTube, follow the page, turn on your notifications. Moni, if you were working with me, we would put you back on tirzepatide. And then we would probably add a fat mobilizing peptide. SJM, I'm on week 7, 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide. I have stalled. It's driving me crazy. So the number one, I'm going to go back to stalls. Don't worry. We're going to talk about stalls. I know some of you guys are probably a little annoyed because I skipped that. I promise you we will talk about stalls today before I end my live, and I always keep my word. But there was definitely a lot of requests about menopause, so just be patient with me today. Our AOD actually comes in a troche, so it looks like this right here. These little squares right here. You pop the squares into your mouth, and they absorb the medication. In this case, the peptide absorbs into your bloodstream, so you don't have to inject yourself every day. Jocelyn, we got you covered. We got you covered. Christina, I think I recognize you. I feel like I've seen you on my lives before. Welcome, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Do you need to be fasted when taking AOD? Okay, so that's a great question. Technically, you can be in a calorie deficit without fasting. So technically, you can take AOD, eat throughout the day, no fasting, and technically you can lose weight. Is that the way I would recommend it though? No, I would never recommend calorie deficit without a fasting approach. The main reason why I always recommend a fasting approach towards calorie deficit, towards achieving a calorie deficit, is because I want the hormonal advantage. I want to improve your hormones at the same time, and fasting does that better than continuous calorie deficits. The research is very clear on this. There is a ton of fasting health benefits that are independent of calorie deficits. This is very, very well documented. Can you take your supplements with AOD and Sloop? Yeah, you can take your supplements and your peptides at the same time. That's totally fine. Hey, Javi, what's going on, my friend? What do I think about MOTS-C? So I think MOTS-C is amazing. We actually have a new oral peptide called OS01, which is the new it's not a replacement for MOTS-C, but it's really cool. because it's an oral version, so you don't have to take the injections because MOTS-c is pretty expensive. What MOTS-c does is it activates the AMPK pathway, which is like your exercise activated pathway. So MOTS-c triggers the same pathways that happen to get activated when you exercise. MOTS-c activates those. That's why it's so freaking amazing. And so we have an oral peptide now. I actually started it a couple weeks ago because I wanted it. It's a brand new peptide. And I noticed a difference. I'm noticing a difference right now while I'm on it. And so I'll be making videos talking about that new peptide. It's called OS01. A lot of cool things in the pipelines, guys. Oh, you're welcome, Francisco. And Moni, thank you for subscribing to me on YouTube. By the way, if you're watching me on TikTok, guys, you see these two pages right here? These are the new TikTok pages. So make sure you go to those pages, give us a follow those pages, because we put out 3 videos every single day for each TikTok account. If you like those little bite-sized videos that I do on TikTok, then you're definitely going to want to follow these pages as well. You know, sometimes you're in the mood to TikTok, sometimes you're in the mood for long format videos. There are definitely different approaches to understanding the framework of what I teach. So make sure you follow my TikToks, and then make sure you follow my YouTube as well. Does that peptide encourage autophagy? No, fasting is what encourages autophagy. Fasting is what triggers autophagy. I'm such a proponent of therapeutic fasting. I cannot stress that enough. You need to be doing therapeutic fasting. Hey, Gloria, have a good weekend too as well. Happy Sunday. I know a lot of you guys are asking about the costs of these peptides and how all that works. They will go over the prices with you on your free consultation. They'll go over the prices with you. They'll go over the programs, and they'll let you know what it costs. How about HRT plus GLP-1s? Do you need to be fasting? I think everybody needs to be fasting, Belly. Fasting is the best way to control your insulin. Literally, by definition, when you're fasting, you are giving your insulin the most opportunity to come down. Because anything besides fasting is potentially increasing insulin. Fasting, by definition, is decreasing insulin. You can't decrease insulin faster than fasting. Because if we're talking about eating, right? Ketogenic diet is the closest thing to fasting, which is why I recommend when you're not fasting that you go low carb. We don't need to go low carb for life, because I also think that that's not sustainable. Carbohydrates are not inherently bad for life. Once you become insulin sensitive, I believe we can get you back to eating carbohydrates. I think telling somebody that they have to go keto for the rest of their life, or they have to go carnivore for the rest of their life, that's just not realistic. Nor do I think it's necessary. I think you need to put in the work. You need to do some metabolic healing for 3, 6, maybe 9 months. And then you earn the ability to reintroduce carbohydrates once you become primed. That's like the overall approach and strategy that we take. If you have a WhatsApp number, Claire, our 229 number accepts WhatsApp. So if you can't text a US number, then you can WhatsApp it. Can you reverse diabetes with GLP-1s and fasting? I absolutely do that all the time. This is literally what we do all the time is we help patients reverse diabetes. You're gonna need more than fasting though. If you're a diabetic and you really wanna reverse your diabetes, you're gonna need therapeutic fasting. You're gonna have to go low carb, high fat, moderate protein. And then you need to work on inflammation. You need to work on sleep, stress. Your thyroid needs to be optimized if you have hypothyroidism at the same time. Like there's other elements in the background that support the healing. But the base approach towards reversing diabetes is the same approach that I take for reversing obesity. We need to start controlling insulin. We need to control insulin and support our body's ability to move in the right direction. Hey, Nodi, you're starting Manjaro this week. That is fantastic. Super pumped. Love it, love it. What is the max dose? Javi, in our trochees, we do about 600 micrograms of the trochee. You can do that up to 2 or 3 times a day. What's therapeutic fasting? Therapeutic fasting is above like 24 hours or longer. And we do that with our patients on a weekly basis. And that's how we make massive movements in metabolic health. I do a 24-hour fast once a week, and the rest of the week I do 16/8. That's a great start, Francisco. That is a great start. How's that working for you? Are you losing about 1% of your body weight every single week? Are you maintaining your strength? Can you see your body changing? Usually what I find is that's not enough, and that's why we have 3 stages to our fasting protocol, which the deep dive on YouTube that I told you guys about, that goes over all of that. You're welcome, Nix. I'm glad the information is helpful. Do you think growth hormone or growth hormone releasing hormone peptide to help in losing weight? I like the peptides. I like the peptides much more than the actual growth hormone. There's just a lot of concerns with using pure growth hormone, like carpal tunnel, thyroid issues, insulin resistance long term. So we stay away from growth hormone, and we recommend growth hormone peptides to the right patients. What about DASH and Mediterranean? I think DASH and Mediterranean diets are a good start, but those diets still have a lot of carbohydrates. And for individuals that are really trying to become insulin sensitive and reverse their insulin resistance, they're going to have to go low carb. Nix, yes, we have, I'm trying to think the best video for slow results. Probably the best video for that on my YouTube page would be 10 tips to lose more weight or how to double your results. Those videos on my YouTube page would probably be the best for slow results. Is it okay to stack MOT-C and 5-amino-1-MQ? I mean, I don't know anything about your health. I don't know anything about your goals. So is there any medical concern with stacking those? No, not that I know of, but is that the right stack for you? I have no clue. Do I have any brick and mortar? No. So everything we do is virtual, Georgia. So we service all 50 states. It's all virtual telehealth. How do you optimize thyroid? Well, it starts with comprehensive testing. So it starts with some comprehensive testing. We are checking free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and of course TSH. So it starts with getting a good foundation of your thyroid right now. You know, that's the biggest mistake that unfortunately most doctors, they're not looking at free T3, they're not looking at free T4. So they're not getting a clear picture of a thyroid, of what the body's metabolism is actually doing, what their thyroid looks like. No, unfortunately, we don't ship peptides outside of the US. I apologize. I wish we had a way to do that, but we don't. Georgia, I've been on a GLP-1 for several weeks and I think I've inflamed my pancreas. I stopped the GLP-1 for a couple weeks trying to get back. Yeah, be careful with that. This is why you need to be checking your pancreatic enzymes. You need to be working with a physician that can help make sure that you're doing this safely. You know, everybody thinks that GLP-1s have no risk at all, but that's not true. All medications have risk. So you need to use them safely and you need to use them smart. So for me, what that means is, first of all, ruling out any contraindications, some people just shouldn't use them at all. And then you want to be using the lowest dose strategy. The lowest dose philosophy is how we recommend approaching this. How do you prevent losing muscle mass? Number one, you have to give your body a reason to hold on to muscle. So the way that your body responds and the signal to tell your body to not burn up all its muscle is resistance training. You got to get to the gym 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, ideally 45 minutes of muscle building hypertrophy training. You got to consume enough protein, about 1 gram per pound of target body weight. So usually for most people, that's the issue right there. You're not training hard enough, you're not training at all, or you're not consuming enough protein. The third issue is overall, you can't be starving yourself. If you're just not eating enough calories, period, if you're starving yourself, you're going to lose muscle mass. So that's the 1, 2, 3 approach. And then finally, what's your testosterone look like? Because if your testosterone levels are low and you start a weight loss program, you're going to lose weight even faster. And then finally, you can optimize your muscle building response, muscle protecting response with peptides like growth hormone peptides, Somorelin, Tesamorelin, CJC IPA. What's up, Miguel? How you doing, buddy? I don't recommend clenbuterol to anybody. Clenbuterol is a no-go in my book. I wouldn't touch that stuff. It's not good for your heart. Lori, they can go over all the costs with you on that free consultation. So guys, I know a lot of you guys are asking questions about cost, the process of working with us. What does it look like? How much does it cost? This number right here, guys, the 229-441-3562, that is the best number to reach out to my team. All you got to do is shoot them a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up for a free consult. And they got you. We got you. Is swimming a good resistance training? It's a good exercise. Swimming is a good exercise. Does swimming count as resistance training? No. Unfortunately, it does not. You need to perform some solid resistance training. Hey, Georgia, yes, we work with all 50 states. I'd love to work with you. I would love to help you. I have a team of physicians ready to go, and then I could be your coach. Yes, we do prescribe retatrutide, but I'm always going to recommend, we prefer tirzepatide and AOD, tirzepatide and sloop. You just get much better results. There's less chance of the medication not working. Isabel, sloop works on the mitochondria. It's a pretty interesting peptide, actually. So it works on the mitochondria directly, activating that same pathway that triggers that AMPK activation. So you're burning more calories and you're mobilizing fat. What is the optimal protocol for TRT? Well, it just depends. I mean, it's whatever your body needs. You can do injections, you can do creams. Is it better than MOT-C? I wouldn't say it's better than MOT-C. It's different. There's been no head-to-head data. There's no data that can put those head-to-head. What peptide do you recommend? If you're insulin resistant, it's the deep fasting. But then you support the deep fasting, the keto diet, with the GLP-1 and the AOD, or the GLP-1 and the sloop. Paired up with the therapeutic fasting, that's what I recommend if you're insulin resistant. That's what I recommend is going to get you the best results. Oh man, I mean, MOT-C is definitely an amazing peptide. It's pricey, right? So AOD is definitely a good option with your GLP-1, but if it's in the budget to do a cycle, like a 2-month cycle of MOT-C, you can really start to move the needle in some metabolic health improvement at the beginning of your journey. Lowest calorie deficit during fasting. Well, it's 0, right? Like when you're fasting, it's 0 calories. So fasting by definition is the maximal calorie deficit you can achieve. Yes, we do have a peptide that is basically an oral MOT-C. OS01 activates the AMPK pathway, and so that's a good peptide to add as well if you're going to be doing the fasting, if you're going to be doing the weight training. I mean, that's the key behind all of this: fasting and weight training. and eating enough protein, right? Like those are the bases. That's when these peptides can really accelerate your results. Christy, you like the MOTS-c? That's fantastic. It's great. It's a good peptide. It's a good peptide for sure. Is Sloop cheaper than MOTS-c? Yes, it is. Sloop 332 is more affordable. Which GLP-1 is my favorite? Tirzepatide. Tirzepatide is always going to be the tried and true option. It works freaking great. All right, guys. Before I hop off, I want to remind you what is the best way to reach out to my team. The 229-441-3562. Shoot us a text message if you haven't already. Let them know that you want to get set up for a consultation with my team. We do have some amazing Black Friday specials, specifically on the Wolverine and the Glow peptide stacks. So I know a lot of you guys, we've been having a lot of people getting such great results. The Wolverine helps with any sort of injuries to the body. And the Glow also helps with injuries, but it's also got the GHK copper. And the GHK copper is good for skin, hair, and nails. It's that collagen synthesis. But if you guys are just looking to get coaching, structure, support, if you're tired of being in a weight loss stall, if you want to accelerate your results, you don't want to gain weight over the next part of the year, you guys know what's around the corner. We got Turkey Day, we got Christmas. This is the easiest time of the year to get lazy. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'll start New Year's. And then you start New Year's and then you're freaking 10, 20 pounds heavier. So I always tell people this is the best time to start because you get such a head start when you commit to your health in this time of the year rather than waiting for New Year's. So not to mention, one of the first things we're going to do with you is a metabolic reset. And guess what we do during a metabolic reset? We get to eat more food. So we can be strategic with you and utilize the holidays to eat more food and it be a good thing and not a bad thing. Rather than you guys continue to starve yourself, feel guilty when you give in and you overeat, struggle with the weight gain because you overeat from this suppressed standpoint, like that sucks. Why don't we just be strategic, get you in a reverse diet, take advantage of Christmas and holidays and New Year's and Turkey Day and use the increased calories to your advantage so that by January, the reset's done and we can crush it and start losing a ton of fat. I'm just throwing that out there. That's what I would do. So again, 229-441-3562 is the best way to reach out to my team. If you're not already following me on YouTube, go to YouTube right now, type in Dr. Jones DC. Type in Dr. Jones DC and you will find my YouTube. And then if you're watching me on TikTok, guys, and you like my short, you haven't seen my TikToks lately, it's because, you know, TikTok likes to play this game where they ban my accounts. I don't like the game. But these accounts right here, we put out 3 videos a day on little bite size, I call it bite-size education. 60-second educational videos where you can learn a ton in this short video. So these are the 2 new pages. So make sure you follow those pages. I like tirzepatide better because there's less likely for an appetite suppression issue. I notice too often with retatrutide, people start it and they're not happy with the results. Yes, we're going to post a video about weight loss stalls on our YouTube tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good day, everybody. Bye.